I jumped off a cliff in 2015
Okay.
when I moved to Gainesville.
Gotcha. That
Not
makes
because of
sense.
the move to Gainesville, but because my catalyst for moving to Gainesville was the company that I was working for, 9 to 5, closed. Like closed up. They just closed up shop. They closed up their company based out of Brooklyn. They closed up shop. And I'm like, I want to get a master's degree, so let me try UF, right? State school, awesome school. I ended up in the entrepreneurship program, which is another amazing experience, by the way. But then what happened there is that all the clients that I used to have at the previous company started hitting me up. They're like, hey, Andy, we need to do this. Hey, Andy, we need to do this for Winter Music Conference. We need to do this for Basel. Can you help us? Can you help us? Can you help us? And I remember when I landed my first big client, I rushed over to one of the professors at UF. I'm like, I have this giant client and like, I don't know what to do. And like, she kind of mentored me and like what to do next.
Right.
And that was really, I had literally no job security at that point. Like I had nothing. I'm like, I was just planning on going to school
Until you landed that big client.
until I landed that big client.
Would you say that you had fear at that point in
Hell
your
yeah.
life?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
A fear of like, I'm going to do this. I don't know if I don't know if it's going to be successful, but I'm going to try my damn hardest to
So
do
then
it.
what got you through that? Did you have community support around you at that point?
It had the community support of the school, right? I had the professors I can lean on a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I had the support of my previous coworkers,
Yeah.
which I was able to lean on, bring them into the fold, pay them a portion of what they were paying me,
Gotcha.
right? Leverage them to create something,
Right.
right? And it was a big account, man. Like to clarify, it was to rebrand an entire cruise ship for an event.
Wowzers.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, I definitely had to lawyer up, right? So like, I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, we got to lawyer up. So I went locally and I found a good lawyer here, wrote my agreement, all that good stuff, right? Because you can maybe do that yourself, but when it comes to like international waters and like
Yeah, there's a lot to
a
consider.
big client there, like I didn't want to like cut any corners.
What was going through your head at that point? I mean, from the, and we'll put it like this, from before you had that opportunity, what was going on in your head? Like what was happening
Ooh, that's a great. I was just I was searching for opportunity, searching for something.
and what was the motivator for that?
Some of the motivator for that was personal. Like, what do I want to do in my life, right? Like, so I'm gonna
Like existential, like purpose?
yeah, like purpose. What is my purpose, right? What is my purpose?
And what was it?
I wasn't sure, right? I was seeking it, right? I was seeking the purpose in multiple ways. I think part of it was, well, let me go back to school, right? So I received my Master's of Science in Entrepreneurship here at UF, right? And that was part of the purpose, but that's a 1-year program. I ended up doing that program in 2 years because I was so busy with the company agency that I created right at the beginning of that program. So like I went to school part-time, but I also worked part-time, right? So
For yourself.
for myself,
Gotcha.
right? And that was great because I remember taking meetings in my boxers at home. I'm like, yeah, I'm taking this meeting, and like I'm getting paid a lot.
He was
man.
doing it
It's awesome.
before it was cool.
Oh hell yeah, I was doing it before it was cool. Yeah. I've been spoiled, and it was great, man. It was great. Like my first year, a little over a year, almost $500,000 in revenue. Like it was great. I never thought that was going to happen, right? And I was able to pay myself a good salary as well, doing
Right.
it myself,
Mm-hmm.
which is great.
Yeah.
And that led me to understand and know, like if I really truly dedicated myself to something, I can make it happen.
So at what point then did you find the purpose that you were looking for, that you were seeking?
Well, let me start off with, it wasn't what I was doing then. It wasn't this event marketing thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'll fast forward another year, I ended up doing the same thing for the same client a year after. And I remember being on the cruise ship at the dock in Miami, like 3:00 in the morning, supervising my team and being like, why am I here? Like, what is the purpose of this? I don't understand what the purpose of this is. Like, sure, it pays me well. Like, I charge them a good chunk of change.
Well, you had a scope of work. I mean,
yeah.
There was...
But then I shortly thereafter, like literally like a month and a half after that, I shut down that company.
Why?
Because it wasn't what... It didn't give me true purpose in life. What I felt back then was true purpose in life. Okay?
Which was?
To give back, to leave the world a better place than when I found it.
And you weren't doing that in...
And I was not doing that.
Event.
I was not doing that.
Rebranding and marketing.
I was not doing that. I was not doing that. I was literally... I was taking care of... And I think in hindsight, if I looked at it a little bit differently, it would have been a different outcome. But at that point, I wasn't leaving the world a better place.
Well, that's interesting though, because it's interesting because I can't say that a lot of people would do that. Not a data back statement, just a personal observation and a personal opinion. If you're successful in what you're doing, I feel as if though an individual or a person would try to find the purpose inside of the success that they're already having. But it sounds like what you did was, through the success, you realized that it wasn't what you were looking for. If your mission is or was, or I mean, I would imagine it still is, if your purpose statement for you was to leave the world a better place than how you found it, and that wasn't happening, then you just let it go. Mm-hmm. I mean, was that easy for you?
Yeah.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Truly?
Oh, yeah.
How? Why?
By just letting it go, dude.
And you just didn't even think twice?
I didn't even think twice.
Really?
And I honestly have no regrets.
Oh, of course. I can definitely agree with that part.
Yeah, no, it was easy. I mean, so what does that tell you, though? Then does that tell you that money is my true motivator? Probably not.
Definitely
I mean,
not.
it's part of it, but it's not all of it, right?
Exactly.